Okay, the other day I did a video on wave motion time-lapse eyes and basically showed that when light waves intermingle, they produce the pattern as you can see on screen there, and they produce these kind of octagonal, hexagonal shapes. I can't find a lot of information on it, which is why this particular video was approximately 60 years old, because we don't do these kind of experiments anymore, because we've moved on to cleverer things. And yet they still don't know why a fly's eyes are compound. So I mentioned something about it yesterday while I was doing the video, but that was just something that popped into my head then, so I had a little bit to think about it a little while ago, and I've thrown together this little video. So the wave motion time-lapse eye video showed that you can see this pattern and fool your brain into turning off a switch which gets rid of these shapes from on your eyes when you stare at something in high light situation, outside during the sunshine, that kind of thing. So I'm going to give a breakdown of to why do bugs and stuff have compound eyes, and why are they shaped the way they are. Well, the first thing has to do with protection. Obviously, if you had jelly eyes that you put on bugs, we all know they fly outside and they bump into a lot of stuff. So damage to these eyes would obviously be high if they were like our eyes. And I was just reading that flies' eyes are incredibly like our own. They just seem to be without a front on them. They're the lenses at the back, so to speak, the photon receptors, as it were. But apparently they're very similar to our eyes. Okay, so here we have your common housefly eyes, I do believe, compound eyes. And I'm going to try and explain what's happening. Okay, so first of all, they're rigid. This is so they're not damaged. But why are they compound lenses? Well, as I described in the time-lapse eyes, energy is hitting our eyes all the time, and we have a switch in our brain which turns this off. Now, a fly's eyes have compound lenses. They are in the Fibonacci sequence, which is how light waves travel. You'd have to read up on that to understand what I've just said, but light arrives in waves. We just saw it on the screen there. That would be differing light waves, and they make the shape that the fly's lenses are. So I'm putting forward the theory. I don't know if anybody can check it, but I believe it can be checkable, is that these lenses are the precise size of the wave that is squashed together when it actually hits the lens. So the same as you can see the size of the waveforms on the wave picture, these lenses are a corresponding size to the waveform octagon that is hitting its eye. It has been designed at a wavelength frequency for the size of bug and the size of lenses. Are there differing sizes of lenses? I don't even know. If they are, well, hey, must be a different sized animal. And if they're not, hey, that works great, because it would be a universal number that we would get from light being shone on a fly's eyes, showing a Fibonacci sequence. And if you could generate a wave machine, which I'm sure we can these days, we've got lasers and computers and animations that could scan these eyeballs and then focus a picture into it and find out what shape the actual waveform produced on the eyeball. I believe it will be exactly the same shape and size as the actual lenses. Then all this goes into the brain of the fly and is reproduced as a whole picture. So I do believe they have the same switch as us, but this eye has just been designed to catch every single light wave and convert it into a picture while staying behind a protective hard lens. And that's my theory of that. Each lens is the corresponding waveform signal size. And I've just thrown this picture in at the end. This again goes with my theory that all energy is fractal. because I've shown this picture in dandelions and the sun. Lenses are formed by a waveform rotation, which is literally a funnel. So all the bubbles that you see on the sun are bubbles of energy, funnels of rotational energy pushing up. And again, as we can see here, we have spicules of energy finishing off the configuration. So yeah, there you go. Thanks very much. My name is Lee, and I'm a Christian.